Okay everybody, this is today's video on how to draw a cube or a block. Pay attention to some key things that I'm going to teach you about, including angles and how to make it look like it's going back away from us. Also how we're going to apply the concept of values that we just learned. Today's video is going to be about drawing a block. First thing I'm going to do is just show you how not to draw a block. You just draw a square. Alright. Draw a square, draw another square, and then connect them. Well, I'll tell you right now that does do some type of give us some type of three-dimensional effect, but the reality is that can't actually happen. If this is a square, the front of the thing is a square, the bottom of it is also a square or rectangle. All of the sides are squares or rectangles. Front, back, top, and bottom, everything's a square rectangle. Like this object right here. Okay, this is what we're gonna draw. Okay, front's a rectangle, side's rectangle, top, bottom are squares. If I'm looking at it just like that, I can't, excuse me. I'm not able to actually see the sides, and that's because they're going directly away from me. It's because the top and bottom are squares, they're 90-degree angles. So when I'm facing it directly away from me, I can't see the sides like I can over here. What I could see would be, if I have this low enough for your angle in the camera, is I can see the top going away from me, and both of these sides are going away from me, but I can't see sides. It would look something more like this. Both your sides here, this side goes back, just like that one. That's right. But front here can't stay straight at us. Pretend this is like your shoulders. It can't stay straight, it's actually turning back away from us. It's going back away from us in space. So it's got to do something more like this. Okay, and I know that looks weird right now until we get this other side in there. Okay. And now to get the top is going to fall along with this. It's going to look more like that. And the way you want to look at this is to look at, there's three things happening. Number one is all your vertical lines are going to stay vertical. They're all going to stay straight up and down. Okay? Parallel. So I like to say A, B, and C work together. You also have angle 1, 2, and 3 that are working together. Those are all going to stay parallel. Okay. And then angles X, let me put those in squares, Y, and Z all work together. Okay, so let's do that again. So 1, 2, and 3 work together. X, Y, and Z all work together. A, B, and C all work together. Okay? It's really important to see the difference between that and this. Okay, I'm gonna draw this box that I've got in front of me. Okay, you got a picture on the left side of the screen. I've got it set up in front of me. So I'm just gonna start by, I'm gonna try to draw the object, but also the shadow behind it, at least on the surface of the table. Okay, so I'm gonna start by just sketching out the shape of the box. This box is kind of tall and narrow. I'm gonna try to get these angles. One of the things that happens is on this bottom angle here, a lot of times people struggle to get it just right, and they feel like they have to just really carefully just draw it in. I like to actually just draw. I'll put my pencil, like, I'll actually put it on the angle that I see up close. One eye, I have my dominant eye. For me, my dominant eye is my left eye, and I put the pencil, I'll hold my arm out, put it on it, and extend that angle. And then I'll come over here and I'll extend the angle in my drawing too. I'm so light that I'll come back and erase it, no big deal. Okay. Now do this other side. Remember, the difference between what we see and what we're imagining in our head is this difference right here. So we call it moving up the picture plane. It's one of the ways we can show depth in a drawing or a painting. Moving up the picture plane tells our brain that it's further away from us. That's just what things do. That's what nature does. We don't really have an option on that. And this may not match exactly the picture that I took. I'm gonna look at this. Yeah, this has got to open up some. If it doesn't look right, look at it upside down, or from the side, I'm making sure, I'm looking at it kind of at a weird angle, making sure those lines are parallel or roughly. Now, in reality, they're not going to stay parallel, but we're not going to get into that today. We'll get into that when we talk about perspective. There we go. That's better. Bring it. If we look at this page now, all we really need to do is take a look at our value scale and say, I'm seeing this side as about a number 4. So I'm gonna make it a number 4. So I'm just gonna take and shade this whole shape as a number 4. Okay, so I've gotten that one side all shaded in with a pretty consistent value. If you actually look really closely on the picture, I tried to do the same thing on my drawing, that it's a little bit darker up here than it is here because the light's bouncing off of the paper that's underneath it, and so it's lighting up this little bit. Okay, so now I'm gonna look at which side do I think is lighter, this side or this side. I'm actually gonna say that for me right now, it looks like the top is a little bit darker than this side, but I think in most circumstances the top will be the lightest. So that's how I'm going to draw it in this drawing. So I'll be back in a second after I get this side done. Okay, I've got two sides down now. This is a good beginning. I probably would keep going with it. I'm gonna try to get a little bit of value on this top, but I'm gonna ease this top line. So notice that there's no real strong dark outlines like we would see in like an animation or, you know, a video game or something. Those things don't exist in real life. And if you draw like that, what that does is it turns it back. We're trying to make this thing look like it's three-dimensional coming out of the surface of this, off this paper. And when we do that, it just flattens it out, turns it back into two-dimensional. Okay, it makes it back into shapes. All right, so we need to look at this cast shadow back here and look at what value it is. It's really light. Nice crisp edge. So this is why when we did the value scales, I had you guys nice and crisp, clean breaks into the corners, because this is exactly what you're doing here. In a future video, we'll talk about edges. So drawing is really all about edges, hard and soft. These are all just hard edges. With our next video, we're talking about drawing a cylinder, and that has some hard and some soft. So it's a combination. And blend it out. Never leave it as an outline. Soften it up a little bit. Bring some of this darkness a little bit further down. There's a little bit of extra darkness under there. And if you see it, it'll go kind of fades out like that. And come back and hit that a little bit harder just to crisp that up. Okay, go back to my light pencil and just lightly, in fact, I'm going to change it to a 2H here. Just need a little hint. And then I'm going to finish it off by doing something from the Renaissance, and that is to take my dark pencil and try to really accentuate the highlight by pushing kind of a dark shadow. This pencil is it's just something that I like to do on some of my drawings, just to finish it off. Okay, so that's how we draw a cube or a block. Okay everybody, I hope you enjoyed that video about how to draw the block or the cube. I hope you learned something to go apply right now, something different than what you knew previously. It's actually not that hard. I think everybody can do it. We can just wrap our head around how things work. In the next video, we'll talk about how to draw a cylinder, which is similar but different. Tune in next time for that video. Thanks, bye.